After quarterback Aiden O'Connell suffered a wrist injury Saturday, trade speculation linked Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Skylar Thompson to the Las Vegas Raiders. But instead of trading for the Steelers' depth quarterback, the Raiders traded for a former Steelers signal caller, Kenny Pickett. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported Monday night the Raiders acquired Pickett from the Cleveland Browns. The Browns will receive a fifth-round pick in the deal. Schefter posted a few more tweets in reaction to the trade. That was hardly the only tweet discussing the newest Pickett trade on X. Las Vegas will be Pickett's fourth NFL organization despite the fact that he's only beginning his fourth NFL season. In the past 18 months, Pickett has been traded 3 times. He's been traded twice since early March. The quarterback received a lot of teasing on social media Monday night for getting traded to the Raiders. Cleveland Browns trade Kenny Pickett to Las Vegas Raiders. Pickett's tenure with the Browns lasted less than 6 months. Even counting the preseason, Pickett never played a game for the Browns. The fourth-year quarterback never really had a chance to compete in Cleveland because of a hamstring injury. Pickett suffered the ailment on July 26 and then never fully returned to practice with the team. He missed the entire preseason because of the injury. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters Sunday that he thought Pickett would be ready to play in Week 1. Stefanski also suggested Pickett would compete with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders to be QB2 for the Browns when the regular season begins. Cleveland is set to start veteran Joe Flacco in Week 1 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. But it now appears Stefanski's comments were an attempt to drive up Pickett's trade price. If that was the tactic, it kind of worked. On March 12th, the Browns sent a fifth-round pick and quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Philadelphia Eagles for Pickett. Flipping Pickett to the Raiders, Cleveland didn't receive another player in return but got back essentially the same draft capital. That's not bad considering Pickett hasn't proven to be completely recovered from the hamstring injury. The Steelers drafted Pickett in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. After his second season, he requested a trade after the team signed Russell Wilson. Pittsburgh sent Pickett to the Eagles for a 2024 third-rounder and 2 2025 seventh-round picks. The Steelers also included a 2024 fourth-rounder in the deal. Pickett projected to be Raiders' number 2 QB. The 27-year-old quarterback will likely have to continue enduring jokes about his third trade in 18 months. But Pickett still emerges as a winner in the trade from the Browns. Since Cleveland acquired Pickett, they also signed Flacco and drafted Gabriel and Sanders. With 4 signal callers, the Browns' quarterback room was a bit of a circus this summer. Pickett gets to leave that behind for a team that's likely to slot him in as their backup behind Geno Smith. The only other healthy quarterback the Raiders possess on their roster is 6th-round rookie Cam Miller. Pickett will have to learn the Las Vegas offense quickly. Otherwise, if he gets into a game early in the season, he could be in trouble. But Pickett is much closer to starting again with the Raiders than he potentially was in Cleveland. For the first time in 4 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a glaring issue at starting quarterback. The comfort of that statement might only last 1 season, of course. Aaron Rodgers will be 42 years old by season's end, and while he's given Steelers fans a maybe on his return in 2026, his initial stance that he'd be in Pittsburgh for one last season still looms. For now, the Steelers feel fairly confident in their quarterback room after completely overhauling it. Mason Rudolph is a comfortable backup option that fans support. 6th-round pick Will Howard seemed to have won the third-string job before the preseason began. Skylar Thompson looked good enough to push Rudolph for the second string in live action, though. Still, all of that comfort doesn't solve the issue that has prevailed since Ben Roethlisberger's retirement in 2021. Who is the future franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Some fans want Howard, others want to land him in the draft held in the Steel City next April. But another option could be available via trade sooner rather than later. Indianapolis Colts QB Anthony Richardson floated as a potential Pittsburgh Steelers trade target. ESPN's Bill Barnwell recently submitted 10 trades across the NFL that seemed feasible following the preseason. He suggested the Steelers send the Indianapolis Colts a 4th-round pick in next year's draft to bring Anthony Richardson to Pittsburgh to give him a fresh start after losing his starting position to Daniel Jones. Most fans would look at Richardson, the 4th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, as a true blue bust. Most would say the same of Jones, who failed in New York with the Giants as a 6th overall pick in the 2019 draft. But there's an argument to be made that Richardson is a project that requires more patience, much like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield, who all failed at previous stops, but eventually landed starting gigs. Frankly, Richardson's profile matches what the Steelers would like in their starting quarterback from a skill set point of view. He has a rocket arm, incredible athleticism, and the size to, theoretically, withstand the bruising AFC North division. Whether or not the Steelers have the patience to see him come along and find his NFL footing is another story. In reality, this isn't a move the Steelers should make ahead of the 2025 season. It's one they should table until they know what Rodgers' plans are and after getting more information on Richardson. But even with that approach, it would likely take a perfect storm scenario for the Steelers to make such a move. For example, if the Steelers reach the AFC Championship, fall short there, and Rodgers decides, quickly, that he'll be returning and Anthony Richardson doesn't touch the field for Indianapolis while they skid to an expectable losing record and a top 10 pick, the Steelers should send a mid-round pick to the Colts to secure the project QB. Pittsburgh then has less pressure to move up for a quarterback, instead investing in Richardson with another redshirt year and selecting a player that can hopefully get them over the hump in the championship contender conversation with their first-round pick. That's not a particularly likely scenario. Jones will almost assuredly give time to Richardson at some point during what will likely be a difficult season for Indianapolis. Then there's the whole, how good are the Steelers really aspect. Still, the key with Richardson is patience. How the Colts came to the conclusion that he was ready to start in year one remains a mystery to the rest of the NFL. But going forward, replicating the patience that revived the careers of Darnold and Mayfield is the way to go. He has the tools. He just needs to be in the right opportunity. But as things stand currently, Pittsburgh only stands to provide such an opportunity if everything falls into place just right. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers perfect Jakobi Meyers proposal after Raiders trade request. The Steelers should be looking closely at adding Jakobi Meyers. Here's some sales pitches and a trade proposal to consider. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero added context into why Meyers is seeking a new home. Meyers and the team attempted to negotiate a new contract, but could not come to terms, Rappaport shared on X, formerly Twitter. However, the Raiders are denying any thought of sending away their 1,000-yard wide receiver. Granted, the Raiders shared this declaration before luring back Amari Cooper. The return of Cooper adds him to a room already featuring intriguing newcomers. Donnie Thornton delivered an impressive training camp. Jack Beck is another rookie the Raiders are high on. And the silver and black feature 2024 Pro Bowler Brock Bowers at tight end. Meyers can still make this Raiders offense dynamic and deep in the air attack. But the Steelers present plenty of reasons to make a run at him well before the NFL trade deadline. Wide receivers rarely turn down the chance to play with Super Bowl-winning passers, irrespective of how old they are. Rodgers is now in place in the Steel City, but the WR room remains iffy at best outside of Metcalf. The Pro Bowler no longer has George Pickens opposite of him. Pickens completed his first training camp with the Dallas Cowboys. Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin III are the only other options outside of Metcalf, with Austin catching less than 40 passes in 2024. Pittsburgh can prevent itself from creating more pressure on Wilson and Austin. Meyers hands the AFC North franchise a needed experienced and established veteran for Metcalf and Rodgers, plus makes the Steelers' WR unit one of the league's deepest. So, what will it take trade-wise to bring Meyers over? Trade proposal involving Steelers and Raiders. The Steelers are a strong destination already for Meyers. Now with Cooper back in the Raiders' locker room, this rules out LV considering WR. This leads into the following idea involving both parties. Steelers send one 2026 third-rounder to Vegas. Pittsburgh ships 26 free agent guard Isaac Seumalo in this move too. The Raiders then sweeten this deal for Pittsburgh. Vegas ships away more than Meyers in this proposal. The Raiders trade guard Dylan Parham. This is a 2-for-2 special on both sides and moves that benefit the Steelers and Raiders greatly. Seumalo is back from the non-football injury list, but he's due to make more than $6.8 million in base salary this season. Plus, he carries a cap hit of $10.1 million. The 31-year-old would join Alex Kappa as pass guards carrying Super Bowl winning experience into the Raiders' locker room. Sumalo played on the Philadelphia Eagles' Super Bowl 52 team. Parham is feeling turbulent ground at guard in Henderson. The 26-year-old is looking like a potential odd man out in the two deep. Change is increasing for the past third-rounder. Oh, he's still on his rookie deal with no word of a fifth-year option. Parham rejoins old Memphis teammate Austin here in the Meyers proposal. Vegas then gains an additional third-rounder for next April. Pittsburgh already holds a third-round option via the Cowboys thanks to the Pickens move. General managers John Spytek and Omar Khan should hold this conversation for the Raiders and Steelers, respectively.